This is a series of films that tells the history of contemporary fashion photography as seen through the eyes of models. You're interesting because you're coming in a slightly different route of how a lot of models start. I mean, I know times are changing and things are different, and et cetera, and people like yourself are making new paths. But you're not represented by a model agency, are you? Am I right in thinking that?
I just actually signed to an agency. Yeah.
Breaking news.
But right, breaking news. I'm signed, but I wasn't signed this whole time for the past 3 years that I've been working.
Right, and why have you chosen that?
It wasn't really a choice at first. When I first started modeling, I couldn't really find an agency that would take me.
Really?
And then when I started to get some, I started working with Decibel and so on and so forth. Yeah. People were seeing me all over the place, and everyone thought I was signed already.
Right.
So no one was really inquiring.
Right.
And then when I started venturing out and being like, okay, cool, maybe I should look for an agency, people were like, well, she seems like she already has a niche brand, Decibel and Equal, her skin, So I don't know. Then I started doing other things like Sprite and Diesel, which she casted me for, and then other stuff that wasn't so about my skin, and people were like, oh, she's a lot more than just her skin.
Yeah.
So a lot of other people started showing interest in me, and then one agency in particular stood out to me, and yeah.
So now you signed worldwide by a model agency?
By a talent agency.
Right.
And worldwide.
Check from the sideline.
Yeah.
Because it is a slightly kind of different route, and I wonder if that's. I wonder if you see yourself. Oh, I should ask the question rather than presuming the answer. Do you see yourself as a model or a personality?
A model.
A model, okay. Because for a model, you have a lot of personality. That's a big goal. But you're very engaged with lots of issues. You're certainly not just a kind of a vision and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
We hear your voice, we see what you think. That's more in any case of social media you hear that about people. But you're very, you're very active, and of course, because of Vitiligo, you were active on that front as well. So you were appearing when you did the TV thing with I forget the child's name.
Oh, the reel with April.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic looking child as well. But so that makes you very much you have a slight kind of spokesperson role as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder where you see yourself. Do you see yourself just as a model?
I see myself as a model, but I also feel like even my upbringing and my background and everything, I am such an outspoken person. So I don't think I could ever just be a face.
Yeah.
I have to have a voice as well.
But my feeling is that's probably more what people want these days. They probably want to have somebody who's got more to say.
I mean, the people want what they want, and they definitely want they want people to say what they want to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely don't do that.
Right.
But I mean, I more so have an opinion, and I choose not to be quiet about it.
Yeah, no, but it's just fine. I mean, from a fan's point of view, from a viewer's point of view, for a follower, from my side of things, that's great. Because obviously, I want to know what you think, and I want to know your opinions on things. And my feeling is that makes much more sort of rounded vision of somebody rather than just a sort of this just rather two-dimensional role. I think models have been slightly forced into. You take it back to the 1970s or even the 1960s or even the first 1950s. Models didn't have a voice at all. There was no models turned up. They often did their own hair and makeup, and nobody ever asked them anything. It's part of the reason I'm doing this series. I'm taking it right back. Mm-hmm. Is to actually get these women who shaped fashion and photography. So importantly to actually speak, because previously one didn't hear much from the model.
Right.
So you come at I think it's generational. I think partly you come at a time where you have got a platform to speak through, which of course is Instagram.
Very much so. I also feel like it's 100% to do with the time that we're in.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I'll even post, and my mom will be like, you can't say those things, and you can't this, and you can't that. I'm like, actually I can. Realistically, I can. Maybe you don't want to, but there's even little things for example, my mom will have a problem with my grandmother, for example, and they'll be going at it, but they won't really say anything to each other.
Right.
And I'll be like, Mom, why don't you just say this, and so and so and so, and she's like, no, I don't want to start a problem, and I don't want this and I want that. Like, not in this day and age. You need to say what you mean and mean what you say. Let people know how you feel.
Yeah. And how much of a balance between your professional life and your personal life do you let Instagram have? Do you know where it sits?
I'm pretty open, but like when it comes to things like relationships, like I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a tricky thing to do, because what seems natural to you to post because you're happy about something,
Exactly.
then becomes a window into your private life,
Right.
which can then get sort of,
I actually learned that from my last relationship. I had a relationship with someone who was also a little bit in the industry, more on the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And he was like 10 years older than me, so he was already kind of knew about this type of stuff, and he explained to me why he personally doesn't put things like this on the internet, and I was like, you're smart. Something I should learn. So since then, that relationship didn't work out, but like we're friends now, and there's a lot of things that I took from him, that I learned from him, and that I still use in my life.
Because it is tricky that, because as I said, it's something that would come very naturally to you to talk about something you're happy about or sad about.
Right.
But then it does provide this kind of slightly more personal view than perhaps you'd want.
Precisely. And once you give an inch, people want to take a mile. So if I show you one thing, you're going to want to know everything. And if I don't show you, you're going to come to your own assumptions. And that's just when things go all over the place.
Yeah. Because on that topic, I noticed you posted a bit about celebrity and how it feels to be a celebrity in that way. Mm-hmm. Is it something that's come as a surprise to you, or did you imagine doing this?
I think for me, thankfully, things came like very gradual.
Yeah.
It was never like for example with Justin Bieber, where he was like thrown into the spotlight and it's just like go go go.
Yeah.
I started from like YouTube and then doing small things like, well, I wasn't on YouTube, but like friends of mine had large followings on YouTube, and then asked me to do a video here and there and such, and then I'd be noticed, like I'd travel to like the States and I'd be in the mall and somebody would be like, oh my god, aren't you the girl from that video on YouTube? Can I get a picture and such? So it happened very slowly, but now it's like everywhere I go, like I'm always stopped for pictures.
Right.
And it's fun, it's nice, but I'm also a girl who likes to be cute in pictures, and I'm also a girl who likes to be grungy all the time, so I don't want to take pictures every day. But I'm the type of person that I would prefer, like, I'll be with friends and someone will come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, you're that model, you're so beautiful, I love what you stand for, have a good day. And I'm like, can I have a hug? That was so good, like that was so personal. So, it wasn't like, oh my god, can I get a picture? Bye, So.
But I guess you're going to get that increasingly, and also because you are you're remarkable looking. I mean, in the way that you're very individual looking.
Thank you.
So there aren't many people who look like you in a very good way. It is something I would know exactly who you are, and a lot of people know exactly.
I feel like that's it too. It's not that like I'm super well known, but I'm super like
recognizable.
Exactly. Yeah. So even if you don't know exactly who I am, you've probably seen me before on something, and you're just like, oh my god, that's that girl, So.
So okay, let's move on a little bit. Here's this one. I'm just going to want to talk to you about this shoot. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
I think that was before I met you.
Right.
I think this was like my first shoot that I actually really loved.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite pictures I've ever done, and it was with a photographer from Toronto. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this shoot. This was the first shoot that I ever did, like, topless.
Right.
And I was so uncomfortable.
Right.
I hated it. Like, I really don't do anything topless, to be honest. Because people are so interested in, like, what I look like underneath. And I'm just like, it's not your business what I look like. Yeah. But even this bra, like, I said no to this bra a million times, and I tried it on, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Yeah. But yeah, I was super uncomfortable, hated everything, hated my makeup. It looked really good in the pictures though. Yeah. But like in person, it was hideous. Right. But like in black and white, it is so gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think I saw it after I met you and after I worked with you. I just think they're a very beautiful set of pictures of you, and also quite attitudey in a good way.
Yeah.
You seem very confident in it, and I think that's a lot of what comes through when I see photographs of you. You never seem to be a victim in your photographs.
I think that I'm really good at that. Like, I'm good at faking it for the camera. Because
I guess that's your job, so.
I hated, like, taking these pictures. I wanted to put on a shirt so quickly. I was just like... And another thing was, this was one shoot that really, like, hindered my trust with photographers as well, because this one in particular, my nipple was actually showing in this picture.
Right.
And the photographer, I saw the picture and I was like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think I was 17 here or something like that. I'm like, I'm 17. I'm just starting out. I'm not doing that. Like, that's not happening. He was like, no, that's not what we're going for. Da da da, blah blah blah. And then he released the picture on Facebook with my nipple showing in that picture. Yeah. And it took me like a week. Mind you, I no one knew who I was at this point. So like it was fine. Didn't go viral or anything.
Did you have the picture taken down or something?
Yeah, I searched for them for like a week. Well, not even searched, but I messaged them for like a week. Like hate mail and angry stuff, like all kinds of swear words. And they finally took it down, edited it, reposted it, and that was that. But I like never took... Even the shoot that I did with you, I had like a scarf on, and that was like it. I had like nothing on under, and I was like so like scared, but I was like, no, I know who he is now. Like this, it doesn't matter. It's cool. Like he's gonna be professional. It's not gonna be like this photographer or whatever. So, yeah.
So a lot of it's about trust.
Exactly, a ton about trust.
Yeah, which is always a tricky thing. I won't belabor this shoot. But there are a set of images of you which I think are very successful. And they do portray, kind of strong. And
These ones?
Yeah. And quite a powerful woman, which, on the surface of it, you're a girl wearing a wire bikini, or a diamond bikini.
Yeah.
There's not much clothing there, so it really is coming from how you're standing and what your attitude is. So, some credit to the photographer as well, if you got that from
for sure.
But also, it's something that you seem very good at portraying his power, and that's an interesting attribute to have. I mean, I've met you obviously, know each other a little bit, so I know what you're like.
I think it's also a big thing, not just for being a model, but for the fact that people expect from anyone who has like anything that's different or. Not saying that obviously I have a disability, but someone who does have a disability, for them to be like completely different and so like meek and meager and like, I have to take care and they're not strong and that like, no.
I'm actually, I wasn't even talking about the vitiligo. I was just your attitude as a woman.
No, I know, but
is exactly that.
I'm saying like I think that it's very interesting as well that people think that there's going to be something different just because of my skin.